Is there an opinion that you've changed your mind about recently? You know, Catholics might be accused, I know Aquinas is accused, right, of not being a philosopher, people will say. He's really just a theologian, you know, hired by the church. And so he already has preconceived ideas, which he then reasons to, which is just not true. And there's a lot of reasons we could give for that. I'm going to do them. For example, he wouldn't quibble with the Kalam argument if he's just about, you know, showing God exists. Certainly he wouldn't deny the most prominent argument for God's existence, namely the ontological argument. You know, all right. Yeah. So, but then Catholics are probably accused of that too. So, is there an opinion that you have changed since you've become a serious Catholic?
Oh, there's a lot of opinions that I've changed, and a lot of times I find myself grappling with how to form. So, this is true in obvious ways with the news, like what should happen in Israel and Palestine. Okay. You know, it's like every time I hear something.
Am I allowed to ask you, like, what was your opinion when the news broke, and then has it developed? And if
so
you don't want to get into
I'll go
that,
back super far. Because you asked even before, you know, so I grew up in a household that was like unabashedly, Israel is great. Israel is like, it's in the Bible, so how could it be bad? You know, it's Israel. And I mean, I'm oversimplifying, you know, my family's views even back then. Their views are more complicated now because we had a trip to go to the Holy Land and we saw the treatment of Palestinians there. And it was really kind of shocking. And I think we all left that thinking, these folks are getting a really bad deal.
Yeah. So you're pro-Hamas is what you're saying, right? That's the thing.
That's the only possible other, you know, either you like the Bible because it says Israel or you like Hamas. But no, it's just so much more complicated where even something like a two-state solution, if you'd asked me, say, a year ago, I would say, well, a two-state solution seems like the only workable answer. And in some ways, that's still my answer. But I realize now, the more I look into this, the harder it is to say, well, how do you actually get a two-state solution when you have Gaza and the West Bank that aren't even contiguous? And you have all sorts of issues of, okay, what about the Jews living in Palestinian areas? What about Palestinians and Arabs living in Jewish areas? What about all these settlements that have been created in the last 20 years? Do we just destroy these and kick 100,000 people or more out of their homes because they shouldn't have? All of those are really complicated, messy issues where I can say, this is an unjust situation. But I guess what I've come to is like, I don't know an appropriate solution to this that isn't going to make life a lot worse for a lot of people in the short term. And I can't think of one. And so every time somebody intelligent on the issue talks, I'm like, well, that's interesting. But then I hear the other side and think, oh yeah, that doesn't work either. And so I just keep coming back. You know, like what happened to innocent Israelis in October of 2023 was abhorrent. Should never have happened. And no amount of systemic injustice or anything else excuses murdering civilians. And also, we need to do something about the situation. And I don't know what that is, but things cannot just stay indefinitely kind of in the way they are. So it's that's an area where very concretely, like I find my views constantly evolving, but precisely because I'm trying to apply kind of a Catholic vision towards this really complicated,
what I
messy
like
situation.
About your response to my question, have you changed your opinion on something, is that you gave like this really honest, humble human experience where it's not that I've gone from A to B. Right. It's that I've gone from A to maybe B and A.5 or A point B or and trying to be humble. And again, you'll be called a coward for that.
Yeah, but unfortunately, nuance like that is.
That's what I'm saying. Like to be willingly called a coward. Can be like an act of strength. It really can.
Yeah, it's hard to. I can't just like put a flag up on my Facebook profile and get the accolades. Yeah, I have to say, both sides have acted very poorly towards one another, and it's easy to see the bad guys here. Yeah. It's harder to see either the good guys or more profoundly. Well, how do we go forward in a way where these two people can coexist in peace?
Yeah, we like simple narratives, eh?
We do.
Yeah, like people say Australians are laid back, Americans are loud, the French are arrogant. Like we love that. It's really good, because it just, I don't know, gives us context to engage with reality. But as soon as you meet someone who's not laid back, who's Australian or whatever.
It's true.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.